that they're learning is that Democrats are weak, and that next time we just need to hurt working people and working Americans more. Hurt working people and working Americans more to get them to fold.
Just like Trump used to say that they were sitting the worst of the worst people from their country here, right? We thought it was just from the border. I mean, we knew there was these weird people coming from all around the world, but we knew the worst of the worst because their countries were so corrupt and horrible, and we're wondering why they're waving their country flag but still want to go back. We're like, what's going on? What are you waving the country flag and you're saying you don't want to go back for? Why don't you just go back? You're waving the flag and you're waving your old country flag that you don't want to go back to while dissing the country that you're in. Disrespect the country that you're in that's got you in a free hotel, paying food, everything. They wanted to come through the border because Biden had free giveaways. And it wasn't free, it was your taxpayer dollars, right? Ilhan Omar, right? It's reported that they weren't very favorable in Somalia. They weren't favorable. They weren't favored. Her dad, her people, they weren't favored in Somalia. They weren't somebody that some other Somalians looked up to as great people. It's being said that they possibly fled, right? There's being said that they possibly fled the country because they were escaping for some of the things that they had did in that country. So just like south of the border, the worst of the worst were coming from those countries into the U.S. And what do they do when they get to the U.S.? They don't try to say, hey, you know what? They're here in the U.S. They're giving them these resources, right? Which was very wrong. That should have been going to American citizens, right? They didn't come to the country and do right. They came to the country and stole billions and billions of dollars. So all the other Africans, all the Asians, right? All the Europeans who came here, right? Did it legitimate in the right way, who didn't come here and didn't embezzle billions of dollars, are looking like, man, they really messed it up for everybody. They really, really messed it up for everybody because the American people want their money back. I keep saying it because you have to understand how much billions, it's not millions, that's billions. They stole more than America gave. America already gives money to their country. They stole more than America gave. They stole more money than America sends to their country. Somalians stole more money than the American gives them a budget of money. You know how America gives these countries money, right? They stole more than they give. The only one that people seem to have an issue with is Israel. Now I gave it to other citizens who are upset about the Ukraine war and why they're still giving money to Ukraine, right? But this right here, that was horrible. That needs to stop. People want to find out, hey, as an ally, what's going on? What can they do? And Trump seems like he's working very hard. Because, like he said earlier, that's not his war. He said, this is what Trump said. He said even Putin said that war wouldn't have started if he was in office. He said it was Biden's war. He said it was Biden's war, straight up. But $19 billion to fund, taken, stolen, when you go and the young man goes around and he's asking people, can I bring my son here? And you look up at the sign and the sign is spelled wrong. The sign is spelled wrong. There's no kids there. What did you think was going to happen? The American people want their money back. You don't want, with all of this fraud going on, I mean, at the end of 2025, to begin 2026, to see this as a political party for what was been going on for the last 4 years and longer, it's like, okay, wow, Democrats are absolutely finished. Do we want to put a term limit on possibly people like Senator Ted Kennedy and people like Trump? Trump could easily get a position like, who's this lady's name? Nancy Pelosi, who was all in Congress for a long time. Speaker of the House, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think if a Speaker of the House, if something happens to the president, something happens to the vice president, the Speaker of the House takes over, right? Wouldn't it be best if we have politicians that keep America First policies in Congress and don't put a term limit on them? Because you put a term limit on them and you get all the people that got common sense out and put all these new people in, because just because it's new doesn't mean it's right. And just because it's old doesn't mean it's right. We need to continue to have the Constitution so far has been written so flawlessly. It's been written excellent. And in my opinion, don't think that's something that should be messed with. I think it would be great to have Trump, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, right? Ted Kennedy, the gentleman that's running for, running for governor of Florida, Brian Donalds. All people can have those positions in Congress and stay there as long as this is what it is, as long as the American people want them there.